I think we're live. What's up, Josh Forti? How's it going?
What's up, man? How are you? Dude, it's going so well. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. I just want to check real quick to make sure we are live. Okay, it's awesome. So we're live, and everybody is starting to jump on here. So awesome, Josh. I just want to thank you so much for coming out here, man. For coming out and actually taking time out of your day to teach us all about social media and building your personal brand, bro.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to it. I would love networking with people and sharing this message, so it'll be good.
Awesome, awesome, cool. So we already have a couple people coming on. So guys, I just want to talk to everybody that's actually watching now. This is the very first of a bunch of different like high level entrepreneurs that we're going to be bringing on to the Big Dreamers group, and to make sure that we're providing like extreme value to you guys. Because as you guys know, I honestly believe that if you can change the world. If you're a big dreamer, you can change the world if you have the right network, tools, resources, and knowledge. And Mr. Josh Forti tonight is going to be dropping some value bombs on us. So ask your questions down below in the comments. Josh, I don't know if you have that open yet, but hopefully, we can see here some comments. So let me just see if I can share these comments with you guys. Da, 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 da. Let
Thank
me
you for
see
being on the
here.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, okay, so there's mine. So guys, if you have any comments or questions at all for Josh Forti, the king of social media, let us know in the comments below. We're going to get started. So Josh, give me like, who is Josh Forti? Tell me a little bit about your backstory, like where you're from, like all that stuff that happened leading up to where you are today.
Yeah, man. Oh gosh, who is Josh Forti? Well, first off, man, thanks for having me on here. I really, really appreciate it. I'm like a kid, man. Honestly, I'm 24 years old. I actually got started in social media about 2.5 years ago. So I started in the social media or in the online game, actually trying to sell products. And so like backing up, I grew up on a farm for 10 years of my life, from age 11 to age 21. I got a job, or I started college, didn't like college, kind of wrapping this up quickly, dropped out of school and got a job in sales as an insurance agent. So I was selling life and health insurance to groups, to companies. And it wasn't a bad job. Like, I just knew that long term, there's no way that like I was going to stay there. You know, how many people have ever felt like, dude, like, oh my gosh, like it's not my job is bad. It's just like, there's no way I could do this over and over and over again for the rest of my life. Right. But like, I knew that I had not gone to college. I was 21 years old at the time. Right. And I knew that like that was a calculated risk that I had to take. So I had no fallback plan. Right. This was a good job, or had good potential. And everyone told me like, just stay with it. I was lost. I was confused. Like, I did not know like what the next steps were. But I just knew like, there's no way I would lose my mind. Right. Like, if I stayed in this didn't even if I made $250,000 a year, wouldn't be satisfying. And so for me, I didn't know what the next steps were. And I think a lot of people probably watching this might know like maybe the next steps are social media or online marketing or things of that nature. Like back at that, I knew nothing. Like I didn't know that that was even a thing. And so I literally pulled out my computer. I did a live stream on this the other day. Like a lot of people, they'll just be crippled by that, right? They'll be crippled by the fact of like, they don't know what to do next. And so I did what anybody should do, is I just opened Google, right? And I was like, how to make money like on the side hustle, right? Like how to make money outside of work. And so like, like flipping stuff on Craigslist came up, driving for Uber came up, and then like saw like an ad or a thing for like making money online. And I was like, dude, that sounds like me, right? I was like, dude, if I can make money on the internet, that'd be bomb, right? And so I started like researching that and like figuring out. And so the first thing I came across was actually drop shipping. And they're like, you put up a website, you put your products on there, you get some traffic to it, you'll make sales. And I'm like, all right, that sounds easy enough, right? So I spent all of my money. Actually, I was like, if I could go and like make some sales or, something along the lines of that. So I spent like $1,500. I set up a website. I set up, everything that they told me to do, spent my last $1,500 that I had in savings. And I made no money, like zero sales, got zero followers, had nothing. And I was like, what the heck? Like, this sucks. Like, I don't know how anybody makes money on this, but like, I feel like you have to have like $10 or $20 or $30,000 to test before you ever see a profit. And like, I'm like, there's got to be a better way, right? Like, this is the internet. We live in the modern century. So I started studying like, how do I build an audience around me, right? Like, how do I get people to know my name? Because if I can get them to follow me first.
That was something off the top of your head that just came out. Like you just thought to yourself, like, how do I build a personal brand? Or is there something that like triggered?
It was one of those things I looked around at, like people that were selling stuff, right? Like all these people that were making big money that I knew, like everybody knew their name. And then I saw all these kids getting famous on the internet. And I was like, there's got to be a way for like, they're not doing anything special, right? And so I started like looking around. I was like, how do I go and like, how do I like make me look credible, because I didn't understand why anyone would buy from me unless I personally was credible, unless they knew who I was. And so I started searching around on Instagram thinking, okay, like these kids aren't doing anything special. And so then I was like, well, a lot of the kids, a lot of people my age aren't doing stuff in the business space. And so I was like, let me search for people in the business space or in the entrepreneurial related world, making money online world that might have an audience. And I saw that like their follower amounts for these people that seem to be killing it were not that big, like 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers. And I was like, I mean, while that's a huge number and it seems unattainable for me now, it's not like they had millions and millions of followers, right? And so I was like, I wonder what the first steps that they took were. And so I actually figured out that it was possible. And the reason I chose the Instagram platform, after I decided, okay, if I built an audience first, right? Like if I just had followers to me first, I was like, now, okay, where's the fastest way to do that? Because I don't have any money. I just spent it all. Okay. So I was always told, like, if you want followers, how many ever heard the lie that Facebook is a pay-to-play platform only, right? Like you've got to pay for followers and likes if you want to make money on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's not for me. And so I started searching around these other platforms, and I ran across this kid. He was like 16 years old, I think, on Instagram. And he had like 50,000 followers. And so I messaged him, and I was like, dude, like you're just sharing like quotes. Like, how did you do that? Like, what did you do? He's like, it's not that hard. Instagram's a gold mine. Like, you post photos and it works. I just took a course. And so he told me that he bought this course, and I was like, there's courses out on this? Like, you mean there's like people that actually like teach this stuff? He's like, yeah, dude, like just Google it. I was like, I did. So I went to Google and YouTube and like tried to find something, and I got hit with an ad for an Instagram course. And it was like 2 million. I think it was like 2 million, or not 2 million, $2,000. Sorry, it was like $2,000 for the course. I was like, well, I don't have that kind of money, right? But I was like, if this is the route that I need to go, and if I need to buy a course, I know I'm gonna need money. And so I didn't buy it, but then I went back and I was like, okay, well, I need to make money somehow. What's the fastest way? So I went back to Google. I was like, fastest way to make money. And it was like flipping the stuff on Craigslist, which I did. I would go to Goodwill. I would buy stuff for $50. I would turn around. I'd turn that $50 into $100 or $200 or $300, load it on Craigslist, eBay, and the Facebook Marketplace. Right? I just did that. That's exactly what I did, because I was like, I have money for a course, but I know I need one, right? And so I had just gotten a new car. It was a used car, but like new to me, right? And because I wanted to drive for Uber, and my boss was also like, you kind of need a nicer car. And I didn't have any money, but like they had like those special deals going on where you like, my payment was only going to go up like $100 a month or something like that. You know, I was like, all right, I can bring that. So I had this, it was like 2004 car I bought. New car, right? And driving for Uber. I was driving for Uber, and in between Uber routes, like I would go and I would like be researching stuff or posting pictures of stuff online in between my rides for driving for Uber. I lived in Fort Wayne. Uber was slow. Like on a good night, you make $100. So like not much at all, right?
Real quick recap. You were how old when you were doing this?
21, I think is when I started. Yeah.
You were 21. You're 24 now.
24
Okay.
now, yeah.
All right, awesome. So continue. I just want to see.
So I was like, all right. And so I saved up, I think I saved up like $800 in a couple of weeks. All right. Which to me was a lot of money. I didn't know it was possible for me to just make $800 on the side in like 2 weeks. And I did. I had like some expenses, whatever in there, like gas, and all that stuff. But after like 2 or 3 weeks of doing that, I had saved up $800. And I was like trying to get to this $2,000 mark to buy this course. And then the course went on sale, and they're like flash promotion, like 3 days only or something like this weekend only, right? Like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, dropping the price half off, $9.97. Now, little did I know that now looking back at that it was actually only a $9.97 course, and it was just a webinar that I had watched. I got the discount, right? Whatever, like neither here nor there.
First webinar always gets you, bro.
Right, I know. It's like, dang, you know. So I watched the webinar and then they offered me, and I'm like, So like today, only 3 days. It was sketchy marketing, whatever. It's cool. But I was like, all right, well, I don't have $1,000. I have a credit card, and I have $800. So I was like, I know I can come up with at least $200 in 30 days before I have to pay off the credit card. So that's what I did. I literally put the course, I bought it on my credit card, paid off the $800, and then drove and drove for Uber and flip stuff or whatever, come up with the extra $200. And I bought the Instagram course. And I bought it, and I was like, I was smart enough to know. Like at the time, I didn't know I was smart enough. I was just like desperate. Like they say you do things out of desperation or inspiration. I think at this point, like it was more desperation. Like it's not a freaking work. And so I was like, if I'm gonna get the most out of this, I can't buy it. If I let one day go by that I don't watch this course, like it's gonna sit there. And so I got off work on Friday. I like went to the store, bought everything that I needed for the weekend, like went into my room, like got everything ready, got notebooks, pens, the whole paper, and I hit buy on the course. And from like that Friday night to the Monday morning when I went to work, I watched the whole course through like twice. All right, like every single video, and took notes, like had pages and notebooks full of notes. And I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Like I'm in, right? And so it took me 7 months to actually make money off of the course. Now they didn't teach make money; they just taught growth. But it took me 7 months. But in the first month, like I focused, I grinded. I think I got like $3,000, $4,000. I mean, 3,000, 4,000 followers in the first like month or two, right? And then it like started to go up. Then I hit 10,000, then 20, then 50, then 100. And 7 months, I had like 150, 170,000 followers. And I had become like the #1 student in the group, along with Jose. Jose was somebody else in the group at the time. We were business partners at this time. And it was the other top student. So we had roughly the same amount. And the founders of the group, we were so active in the group and like asking questions and then sharing our results and sharing our wins, what worked. And because we were the most dedicated, we were the #1 students, and people were coming to us for questions, not the founders of the course. So the founders of the course would tag us in questions that they couldn't figure out or that they didn't have time to answer. They'd be like tagging Josh Forti in this to see his opinion of VC's works, right? And so I'm like, okay, this is awesome. But then I was like, I'm building his group, you know? Yeah. And so I was like, well, I can grow a Facebook group. That's easy, right? And it wasn't. Started a Facebook group, and the first 3 months I got like 100, 200 members. But well, I partnered with Josue at that time. So going back to that, like 7 months in, Josue I found out lived 3 hours from me. And I was like, dude, let's meet up, right? Gosh, just 3,000 to 4,000. That's easy in itself. I'm glad you think that. That's good. You all have to understand, like I was working like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for that. You know what I'm saying? Like along with my job. So I was like on my lunch break, I was posted on Instagram. When the boss wasn't looking, I was on Instagram, right? And so, you know, it was that. But anyway, so I started a company with Josue, and we had no product yet. We're like, we can grow followers. Let's start a company together. Woo, right? And so that's what we did. We like formed an LLC. Actually, we didn't yet because we didn't have the money for it. We were both broke. But it took us 2 months, I think, from the time that we like started working together to the time we signed our first client. But the reason that we actually signed our first client was not because we had followers on Instagram, but because we started building our personal brand. And so we shift. I had nobody knew who I was except for the people in this group, and they already had the course. So why would they buy from me, right?
So when you're saying that your personal brand was starting to grow, it wasn't through Instagram, the actual Facebook group, because the Instagram.
It wasn't on Instagram originally. Like when I was growing these followers, I didn't grow them around me. I grew them on random viral pages, right? Okay. So all of a sudden I was like, well, no one's going to buy my services. I'm just this random kid that has these pages. No one knows who I am, right? And so that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to start my personal Instagram account. I started my personal Instagram account. I optimized my Facebook profile, and I launched my Facebook group. And so we did those 3 things, and that was probably in September of 2016. So I thought, what, 2 years ago? So yeah, we launched, and we got our first client like a month after we started the personal branding side of things. Okay. And it was like a $3,500 client. Blew my mind. I'd never made that much money before in my life. And you know, kind of spun out of control from there. But it all stemmed from the fact that I shifted from perfecting my skill to sharing my experience of perfecting that skill with actual people, right? Because it's one thing, and I think here's the thing that a lot of people get wrong. You might be really dang good at what you do, but if people don't know you, you are dead. You are irrelevant and nobody cares. You could have $10 million selling freaking Sharpie markers, but if people don't know that you did that, you are irrelevant, right? So once I figured that out, I was like, okay, well then I'll just make myself relevant. And that's what I did. I went onto social media, started posting to my kid. The formula obviously used a strategy that I learned along the way, but essentially how I got into the personal branding space was because I wasn't making any money, even though I had grown hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, and people would pay huge dollars for that. But I wasn't making any money on it because I didn't know how to attract clients.
Yeah. So wow, that's incredible, guys. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever for Josh, and like he just shared so much with us, so many value bombs there about what we should be doing to grow our personal brands. But let me ask you, Josh, just to follow up on that. So where did you put your energy and your focus when you realized that you actually landed this first month, this first client that you got $3,500? Like where did your energy and focus shift to continue growing your personal brand? Did it stay in IG? Was it the Facebook group now?
Yes, for me, it was a Facebook group because it was easier for me to produce content in a Facebook group than it was for me to produce content for myself on Instagram. I was broke and I was living in a $400 a month apartment with barely any lights. Like I had 2 lights in my whole apartment, and so like it was hard for me to take good pictures or produce good content. I only had my iPhone. I didn't have a camera, a digital camera of any sort to take pictures. I wasn't a videographer or a graphic designer or anything. So for me, I was like, I can write and I can live stream. Right? Those are 2 things I know that I can do. And so that's what I did. Where on Instagram, it was a little bit more content driven. And now I've learned now how to actually create content, even if you are in that same setting, because I had to figure out how to do it. But at the time, I didn't know. And so for me, it was, we still showcased all of our results from Instagram in our Facebook group and on our personal profile. And then once we had an established group, I started pushing people back to my Instagram profile.
Okay. So where did you like make the shift to using your personal brand, or how did you rather make the shift from using your personal brand into actually turning that into revenue? How does that work?
Meaning, like, how did I start charging out of my personal brand?
Yeah. So like how did you start building out your value ladder? How did you start getting people to know you, and immediately after they know you, getting them into like your services and products that you offer?
Yeah. And guys, if you have any questions on specifics of this, I'm happy to answer them. So feel free to drop them below. I want to get to them. But that's a great question. So for me, and I think people need to realize at the beginning of their journey, like, you don't know anything, okay? And so because you don't know anything, that means that like doing nothing is the only wrong answer. As long as you're doing something, it might be wrong, but it's at least moving you forward, right? And so for me, I didn't know any better. And my advice to you would be over provide on value, because that's literally all I did. Every single thing that I knew in my head, like if you were to go back to my original videos, I gave away course loads of information for free. I would literally go on a whiteboard very similar to that one right there. I would get on a live stream. I would point my camera at that live stream, and I would just tell them exactly, here's how we build out this. Here's how we build out this. Here's how we do this. Everything free, because I only had like 50 or 100 or 200 members at the beginning. So I was like, if I can get them to love and trust me, I want to make high ticket money right now. I don't want to have a course yet because I'm not good enough to have a course. All you people want to go to a course or digital products right away. Screw you guys, right? Like, you're not good enough, right? You actually have to be good at it, and you have to be able to provide results, right? And so for me, I'm like, all right, what is the one thing that I can do? And so what we did was I read Russell Brunson's book, .com Secrets. If you don't have that book, drop everything you're doing and go order it. It's free plus shipping.
Never leaves my desk.
It's the Bible for online marketing. So I was like, okay, I know. And one of the things that I learned, and guys, I cannot stress to you the importance of what I'm about to say next enough. If you don't understand this, like, you're really going to die. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer, okay? You need to get your audience to say yes to you. And so I learned that at the beginning. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try what Russell says here, and I'm going to try to create a low ticket offer. And I think our first offer that we ever did to our audience, like, I was not confident at all that anybody was going to buy our stuff. It was like $7. Okay. And so we went to the list. I think we sold 100 copies of them to our thing. It was $7, right? We just pushed it. But then we went to all those people and we're like, what did you want to, like, why did you actually buy that? All right. Like, what did you want? Way over on value, hour long. I was like, so what is it? Because I don't know why you bought it. I don't even know what my messaging was. I just know that the information in here is good stuff and it can help you on Instagram. And that's basically how we pitched it. It's everything that you need to know. Here you go. Right? And enough people thought, all right, well, they know their stuff enough for free. For my messaging off, our landing page was off. We were using that get response, right? Like, it sucked, right? We couldn't afford ClickFunnels at the time. But so we went and we created this product, we put it out there, and then we went to our buyers and we're like, why did you buy it? And so we got a bunch of feedback back, and I was like, all right, Josue, at the time, I was like, dude, we gotta make some money now. We're gonna go broke if we don't, because I'm working a full-time job still at this point, mind you. All right, while this is all going on. And so we found out that people wanted to learn how to grow their Instagram account organically. And they're like, how do we get pages to go viral? How do we do this? And so we're like, okay, if we offered a done-for-you service to grow this, like, would you be interested in it for us to actually come in and either teach you it or do it for you or something like that? And so we put it out there, and we got a guy that came in, and he's like, messaged us and was like, hey guys, I want to hop on a strategy call for you. And I'm like, all right, cool. Now, mind you, I should have been like at the time, like prepared a pitch or like prepared to pitch for something at the end. But right now, once again, I'm just providing value. All I want to do is get people to like me, right? Because if people start talking about me, that I'm providing more value than anybody else, it doesn't matter if I'm giving it all away for free. All the knowledge in my head. People pay for organized knowledge, not for information. Okay? Like they pay for it organized.
People pay for organized knowledge, not for information. That's
exactly. So every single thing that you have ever paid for, I guarantee you, without question, you can find free on the internet. I promise. Anything that Russell Brunson says, anything that Elon Musk, doesn't matter. You will find it for free somewhere online. I guarantee it. But because it's somewhere out there randomly, you're willing to pay for it in organized fashion that you can understand. So I'm just value, right?
Yeah.
So on the strategy call, and we had no idea who this guy is. Turns out he was the CEO of this huge, massive company. It's like a $50 million company or something. So, like big, huge company, 50 million. And so like we go through and it's like 11 o'clock at night. We thought this was pretty informal, right? Like we're just providing value three-way like we always do. And we're like, all right, man, well, did you find value in it? And he's like, yeah, how much are your services? Like it didn't even occur to us that like he might actually want our services, right? Like no one had ever asked us for our services. We didn't know how to pitch, we didn't know how to do anything. But because we had provided so much value, and like I looked over Josue, and I was like, and so I was like, well, we do blah 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 blah. Usually charge. This is our first client. I had no idea what I was saying, right? Like usually, this, but, we want to work with you. This, that, and the other. How does $3,500? Now, mind you, I had never sold anything over maybe like $200 to $500 before in my life that I personally put together. Like my car was the only thing I sold more than that. And he goes, cool, send the invoice to this email. That fast. I was like, what the heck? This is crazy. And so we went back and we ended up talking to him more. And we're like, why did you buy from us this? And he's like, dude, because I would sit in your Facebook group and I could watch you over and over and over again. And I knew that you knew what you were talking about because you just kept doing it and kept providing value. And that right there was the turning point for me where I went, it might not be the fastest way to grow, right? There might be a faster way to go out there and use paid advertising and use clickbaity things here and things like that. But at the same time, in order for those things to work and you be able to monetize them, you also have to have a lot of other things in place, right? And that's what people don't get. A lot of times people will be like, well, the fastest way is this. And I'm like, yes, that's true, but it's the fastest way if you have other things in place and if you actually know what you're doing elsewhere. What I figured out how to do was this was the fastest way and the best way for me to build a business where I wasn't paying for traffic. Mind you, I've never spent one single penny in audience creation. Mind you, I have over 100,000 followers online. I've grown over 5 million followers on the internet for clients and myself, okay? Never spent a single penny for my personal business. I've spent client money on their stuff, but never on me, okay? So I'm like, I'm going to build a business around people that I can be truly authentic and real with. They're going to fall in love with me and my messaging. And I can literally ask them, what do you want? And then go create a product and say, here you go, and they will buy. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a pretty sexy business model to me, right? And I'm like, yeah, can you scale that? Eventually, you're going to have to run paid traffic to it. I'm eventually going to have to get that. It's coming very soon, right? We're going to start running paid traffic. But I'm like, I paid hundreds of grand off of literally just going to my audience and saying, hey, guys, what do you want? Go create a product, offer said product, they buy, right? And so for me, I was like, all right, if I can just, Russell Brunson talks about overspending, like outspending your competitors.
Your competitors, yeah.
Right. That's great. I overprovide versus all my competitors. So people are going to come to me first. And when they are going to, if they're going to hire, yeah, sure, you might lose on the low end products or things like that. But when they're going to come to buy from you, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to come to you and they're going to reach out to you. They're going to say, hey, what do you think? I can't tell you how many times I've gotten, what do you think of so-and-so? And I'm like, well, I think they're great at what they do. However, I teach very similar things. Here's why you should go with me. And they're going to be like, yeah, because I trust you. Boom. And so if you can over provide on value to your clientele and to your audience, they're going to come to you and buy from you way faster than they're going to buy from anybody else.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. We're going to touch on, I think, if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. But we are getting a lot of comments here. Just everybody's saying you make it sound so easy to grow at that rate. And I think that's key. I always teach that as well, like over providing in value. That's going to be so awesome. I accidentally myself got into building a personal brand. I did this. I started to do this on accident. And then that's how I got my first few clients. And then now I just went like, feet first into it. There was a question here. and I'm just trying to look for it. So someone says, what is your morning routine like? So do you have a routine? What is that like?
Well, okay. So I'm probably not the best person to ask because I am single, or not married, I should say. And I don't have kids. I don't have a responsibility. I have, have been in and out of relationships, but nothing like where I'm, engaged or married. So I'm a night owl. I work best at night, and I usually don't get out of bed until 10 or 11 in the morning. Like, if I'm being 100% honest with you. So I think that my schedule will change as I evolve. However, I would say my morning routine starts the night before. If you're not making out your schedule the night before, you are losing so much of your time because you think more clearly once you've been awake, right? And so when you're trying to wake up first morning, draw out your schedule for the day, and you're not sure what's going on, you're trying to figure out, you're wasting way more time than you realize. So what I do before I go to bed each night, I try to do it before I get tired. Like if I know it's going to be like an all-nighter or a late night, I try to do it before I get to that point. But I lay out the next morning and I go, okay, what are like the first 3 things that I'm going to do right away, right when I get out of bed in the morning? And so for me, when I get out of bed, the first thing that I do is I don't look at my phone. All right. I try to go for a full hour. It's not usually that. It's usually 15 to 30 minutes, but don't look at the phone. I get out of bed and I get my butt outside, even if that's just standing on my patio. Right? And so I'll get up, and that allows me, like, the fresh air will hit my face. I wake up, and then I can at least function. If I need to take a shower, I'll take a shower, right? Like, and get my mind awake. And then I do 3 things that are small wins for the day to set my path in order. So I make my bed every single morning, right? Like, you go in, you make your bed. Very rarely do I not make my bed in the morning. So that's the first thing. Next thing I do, I go in, I wash my face, I get dressed. Second wins. These are small wins, but when you stack your wins, momentum happens. All right. So I do that. And then I go through step number 3 is I open up my phone and I reply to all my messages, get all my messages knocked out of the way. So those 3 things, and I should eat more breakfast than I do. I'd like to, I'm not a big breakfast person. So I try to eat my first meal around like noon, and it's usually lunch food, but that's really important to getting some form of energy in your body relatively early, like yogurt, something like that. So that's kind of my morning routine, my wake up routine as far as all that's concerned and staying focused.
Okay. All right. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I do have a wife and 2 kids, and unfortunately, sometimes they jump into bed way too early. Like this morning was like 5 in the morning that they came in and just woke us up. But so here we go. Another question. What are some ways to increase your status using both Instagram and Facebook?
Status?
Increase your status.
I'm assuming we're gonna status meaning like your positioning or increasing your authority, being an authoritative figure. I would assume. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So we have to remember that perceived value or perceived status is ultimately reality, which is a double-edged sword. But in our case, it's nice. So I think the first thing that you need to do is you need to figure out what it is that you do. And you really, really, really need to be good at communicating that. If people hit your profile and don't know what you do, you've already lost credibility in their mind. Okay. So I think that's the first thing. There should be some form of speaking directly to your customer. If you were to go like directly to my timeline right now, in my bio, I'm going to tell you exactly what I do and who I do it for. If you go to like Akbar Sheik, you go to these people, like that's going to be super, super crucial, especially when you don't have a large audience. Okay. Yep. Optimizing that. Second thing that brings huge, massive credibility is to instantaneously provide something that solves a problem for a problem that your ideal client has. For example, a lead magnet of some sort. If simply by giving away a lead magnet, you become more credible because people think that people now follow you. Okay. So a lot of people make the mistake on your Facebook profile that, and this too at the beginning, right? I use my Facebook profile as a way to establish credibility rather than using it as a free billboard. So when I first got on the online space, I was like, yeah, let's go, and like post a cool photo up there. I forget who I was standing next to or whatever, and like try to build credibility and all that. And like people like would click on my profile and they'd see that it was cool and all that. I didn't get any leads. People weren't joining my group. Like nothing was happening. And so I was trying to figure out, I was like, what can I do? Like, how does this whole Facebook profile thing work to where I'm going to optimize it to the most amount? And cover photo, essentially, guys, is a free billboard. It's a free ad, right? People are going to come, they click on it. You want to speak to your ideal customer with that cover photo. And so what I did was, for me at the time, I didn't have a lead magnet when I first started, but I knew Instagram and I knew I had a Facebook group. So my cover photo, when I first started, I changed it out. I put like, join the, Facebook group. At the time it was called Digital CEOs Facebook group. Click the link to get started. Boom. And they would do that. And then over on your highlighted pictures on like the side where you get to pick your 4 or 5 highlighted pictures, that's where I establish credibility. And I post pictures with cool people that I've been next to, or client results, or things like that, where I can actually prove that I know what I'm talking about. But people, like, it's a secondary thing. They want to know what you're offering them first and then why it works, right? Like when in marketing, you do that backwards. So like on a landing page, you're going to be like, yeah, like here's what I'm offering, here's what works, like do all those things. But like on your profile, you want to make sure that you're speaking to our audience and providing them a solution that's actually going to solve a problem of theirs. And then if they're skeptical, then back it up with support. Be like, and here's proof that what I do works, right? Always give them something away for free. For me, it's a Facebook group, a lead magnet. Right now, for me, it's social info. Pushing people back to our software platform just because that's where we're at. But always provide that solution for free. And then, dude, like craft your content. Like I cannot stress you and tell you how mind-blowing it is to watch people that'll be like, I'm all about blah, and none of their content is about that.
Yeah, this is actually, you're touching on a question that somebody else asked. Were you strategic with the value provided? So talk a little bit about that.
100% I was. Now, at the beginning, I didn't know that I was, but as I went and figured it out, I crafted it more and more and more. So at the beginning, you're just going to share value. My goal was, I'm going to share tons of value and see what sticks. Now, if you have a week to make $100,000, probably wouldn't start there, right? But if you're like me and you're just like, I don't know where to start and I need to grow out my brand, you want to see what your audience is interested in. Hopefully you have the ability to do market research before you start providing content. I did that by using other people's Facebook groups, and I knew that because I was in another person's Facebook group and I was answering questions and providing. That's why I super encourage you to go provide value in other people's Facebook groups and see what gets the best response. So I took the information that I knew was getting the best engagement, best responses in this Instagram Facebook group, and I did that in mine. Okay. And then I just went and said, okay, once I've taught these basic concepts, now people want to know the process. People are like, how do I do X? And I'm like, all right, guys, 5-day series training today. And mind you, I was super heavy on live streams. I still am super heavy on live streams. If you're not doing live streams, you're dying, in my opinion, on Facebook. So I would on these live streams and I'd be like, all right, guys, day 1 is this, boom, 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 boom. Day 2 is this, boom, 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 right? And I would take them through this process. So by the end of it, they had this quick result. They had this win. And I would try to give them a small win each day or a small task that they could do so they could see a noticeable change, even if that was update your cover photo and change out your description. Okay, boom, great. That's a win, right? And so they go through and they see that. And then at the end of it, you tie it all together. And more often than not, you can get them some form of result. Remember, people don't need a life-changing result with your free content. They don't. They need a small result to prove that your content works. Okay?
That's amazing. That's key. That's key.
Yeah, people aren't going to, you give away the house. This is why I don't get, like, people are so afraid of giving away massive amounts of value. Like, guys, here's the thing. Nobody takes your free content seriously. They only judge it on whether or not it's good. They're not going to apply your free content. So if you give away the house, that's awesome. Now, if you're trying to get them to take action, you're trying to get them to buy your product, you're trying to get them to sign up for something, don't do that. Give them exactly what they need and get them a small win. But when you're just creating content, you can give away the house because they're going to be like, whoa, this is awesome. Never actually go and apply it because it seems out of reach, right? That result seems out of reach for them. But if all of a sudden you can go, for example, let's say you were in podcasting, okay? I could get on, if I had a Facebook group on podcasting, I could be like, here's how I did 10,000 downloads my first month on podcasting. I could go do it and draw the whole strategy and everyone would be like, whoa, yeah, that's so cool. So much value. Yeah. But nobody would actually go and do it. But if I then came to them and said, guys, here's a step-by-step guide or a step-by-step training on how to get your podcast listed to iTunes. Okay. Here's all you have to do. Boom, boom, boom. Little win, achievable win. If you show me how to get my podcast on iTunes, most people think that that's a really hard process, right? I don't know if it is or not. I've never done it, but I've learned that it's relatively stupid simple, right? But for someone that doesn't know any better, that's a huge deal. Then they can go brag to all their friends that, oh, I got on, my podcast is on iTunes. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Is that great for you? No, but this is a big deal to them. It's a small win. So now if you do that and you go, by the way, do you learn? Obviously, you're interested in podcasting. Do you want to learn how to make your podcast actually rank in iTunes so that you're actually going to get more subscribers, more downloads, have a better conversion rate to whatever it is that you're trying to pitch while on your podcast? I have this training. It's a $97. We normally offer for $297, but right now, since you follow through this training or whatever it is, here you go. Boom, $97. Now I'm like, cool, my podcast is ranked on iTunes, but if I would have gone to you first and said, I'm going to show you how to get your podcast on iTunes and rank it, I'm like, that's too much work, right? I don't think I can even get it. It's a long process. But if all of a sudden you gave me the first step for free and I see that it works, I'm like, oh crap, well, it can't be that hard to rank it now too. I'll give you $97, easy, right? See the difference? And so you have to be strategic with it.
That is incredible. Are you guys getting this? That is so valuable. That is so, I mean, even for me, if anything, even for me, like that is so valuable. Like what I'm actually hearing, we're actually in the middle in the group. We're actually in the middle of a 30-day Facebook Live challenge. So a lot of people in the group message, we're bringing them to that group message, and I'm giving them like tips and tricks and challenges to do Facebook Lives, right? And so they're doing all these like Facebook Lives, and they're growing, developing inside of the group. And so they're using the group as a platform to get over that fear of doing Facebook Lives. So that's really incredible. That's really awesome. That's really, really helpful.
You just have to have a defined result. Remember that. If you don't have a defined result, it doesn't matter how much value you bring in. That's a huge mistake I bring out at the beginning. Because I would sit up there and I would teach and teach and teach and teach and teach. I'm like, guys, I don't get it. And like at times I was frustrated. I'd look at the camera, I'd be like, what the heck don't you guys understand? Like I gave you everything you needed, like right here. But because there wasn't a defined result of what they're trying to actually accomplish, or step by step, like, oh, I have that win, people need reassurance, right? They need to know that what they're doing is working. If you don't have a defined result that you're trying to teach them, then they're going to get discouraged and drop off and be like, oh.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, cool. So we have another question from somebody. Do you draw people to your group by helping them to fall in love with your product, or you as a person, because this person sells a specific product? How would you respond to that? To your Facebook group?
So, I mean, like, I think it works both ways, but like your Facebook group needs to be about a specific thing, right? So like when we create a Facebook group, I mean, the first step of creating a brand, I mean, is your brand story. And I mean, so we offer, like one of the things that we offer is we'll sit down and I will go and sit down with someone for about an hour and a half, depending on how long it takes. Mm-hmm. And we'll draw out their entire brand story. If you don't have that in place, like don't even worry about growing your person, but you will fail. Like you got to have that in place. And so we offer that as, things like an hour, like I said, hour and a half on call, and I'll get on with you and we'll draw the whole thing out and I read it back to you. And when I read that back to everyone, they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea I had such an incredible story. But what we do in that storyline, every single time we do it, without fail, everyone is mind blown with the story that they have. And they didn't even realize that they had it. And so what we do in that development of the story is our job is to figure out, and your job when you're creating your brand story is to figure out how you got from wherever you started in life. Maybe your story begins when you were 16 years old in high school, right? To whatever it is that you're doing now. Because there is a reason that you are doing whatever it is that you're doing right now, okay? Like every single one of us, there's a storyline on how we got to that thing. People don't care what you're doing. They care how you got to the point of you actually doing that. They care why you do it, right? So if in our storyline, we lead up to the fact where it was like, guys, I was a farm boy. I didn't like that. I wanted out. Had a huge, massive drought, and we lost the entire farm, basically went bankrupt. True story, my story, right? Got out of that, went into insurance. Hated it, making decent money. Well, for a 24-year-old, I was making $540 a week, but I had potential to make good money, right, with it long term. But I hated it, wasn't fulfilling, or whatever. I searched, I went around, blah, blah, blah. But this, tried this failed, tried this failed. I felt discouraged, lost. Then I found social media. Here's what happened. Boom. Now, all of a sudden, I tell that story, and people are like, oh, social media must work, right? Because you're doing it, and I can relate to that storyline. Same thing with your stuff. Whatever product you sell, why do you sell it? And all you have to do is go through your storyline and tell people, I tried this didn't work. I tried this didn't work. This is why I got into this. Here's why it worked for me. Here's why I'm passionate about it. Here's why I believe it can work for you as well. Now, all of a sudden, it's 2 in 1. Your Facebook group, while you're the credibility and the person that they're following in it, your job is basically just to make them fall in love with what you're doing by telling them why you fell in love with it, right? And if they fall in love with something through you, then they're going to love you too. right?
That's amazing. That's super valuable. That's awesome because you know, obviously, like, you know, that I'm in that 2CCX coaching program, and so you reframed it in a different light that I've never heard of before. But it's essentially, Russell Brunson talks about a future-based cause, right? Having something bigger than yourself, and the why you're selling whatever it is that you're selling is bigger than you and bigger than the product itself, right? And that's what they want to know, and that's what they want to hear.
Yes, but they have to know why you fell in love with it, right?
Yeah.
Because listen, if it's the difference of this, and I know we have about 20 minutes left here, but hopefully, I think this story will be good. Like, if I were to come to you and say, Franco, I'm in Herbalife network marketing. Okay, now Herbalife is a super bad rep, right? Like, everybody hates network marketing or whatever, and like no one likes to be pitched at. If I were to come to you and I were to lead off with that, you'd be like, oh man, you're one of those guys. You're stupid. You don't understand. Like, network marketing is actually a scam, like things like that of that nature. Like, there's no context behind it and everything like that. Now, mind you, I am not in network marketing. I'm not pitching you guys anything, I promise. Like, I'm not part of Herbalife. This is in no way a pitch. It's just purely an example. I'm not part of network marketing. But if instead I came to you and I gave you context, I said, Franco, look, when I was 22 years old, I was in really, really bad health. I had I had gut problems. I was constantly in pain, things of that nature. And on top of that, I was broke. I was at the, I think I just had a migraine when he said it. But listen, if I said, Franco, I was broke. I had just lost my mom, right? And I didn't really have a lot of friends. I didn't know where to turn to. I was lost in life. And someone came into my life and they showed me something, and it happened to be Herbalife, okay? But they took me under their wing. And not only did they show me this product, but they mentored me. They brought me out of my depression. They actually gave me away and a product to sell, something that worked for my life. Was it perfect? No. But it significantly changed my life for the better, allowed me to make a little bit of extra side income and actually heal my body and heal my things. I'm very, very passionate about it. Am I super, super successful in the company? No. But a year and a half ago, I was on the verge of depression and suicide. And now I have purpose in life. I have a support group that I know that I can go to and talk to when I'm feeling depressed and down. And I know that this product was something that actually went out there and gave me purpose again for me to go out and live my dream and like love life again. That is why I love Herbalife, not just because of the product, but because what they did for me was literally transform my life. And so that's why I'm part of Herbalife. Do you see the difference in context?
Oh,
what I just did there?
100%, bro. You can sell anybody with that story. Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Exactly. And you're like, well, dang, like I might not Herbalife either. But
Herbalife. What is Herbalife? I want to tell.
Right. And I think what people forget is that a lot of times the reason that people are doing something, especially something that's controversial, right, is probably not like nobody voluntarily goes and is like, what's the most controversial thing that I can possibly get into so that I can have people hate me, so I can, whatever that thing is, right? We don't do that. And so there's probably a reason that your audience is doing, or your followers are doing whatever it is that they're doing, and they're searching for someone that's sharing their story on their reasons. You look at all the big players out there, Tai Lopez, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, all they're doing for you to follow them is they're not sharing with you how they perfected their skill necessarily. Grant Cardone's teachings aren't all on sales and real estate. There's his core. But why you follow him is because he's out there and shared a story about when he was 24, he had no dad. I mean, his dad, his dad died. He was on drugs. He was completely broke. Gary Vaynerchuk, his whole story. Russell Brunson, they're sharing their story with what they went through and why they fell in love with what they did and how it changed their life. And if you can do the same thing with your audience, regardless of what you sell, you could literally be selling socks. It doesn't matter. As long as you go through and tell them why you're doing it and the messaging behind it. I just bought a comforter. It was like $180. It's called Buffy. Literally, I could have bought any comforter in the world, but this particular one had a message. They believed that the way that mattresses or comforters are currently being made are hurting the environment by all these different things, and they have this really cool story behind it and how they do it differently in this whole process. I was like, dude, that's awesome. I didn't even need one. I just bought a $180 comforter because it was comfy. It was a good product. Great. They shipped it out to me. I was like, I love this. This is so cool, right? I now follow their story. I follow them on Instagram. It's why? Because they had a good story, and that's how you build your brand.
So, okay. So, all right. You're right. We do have 15 minutes. I want to give you some time because I want the audience to know and understand what social info is. And obviously your Facebook group, you have over 30,000 members now in your Facebook group and stuff. We want to talk about that. I'm going to wrap this up a little bit just with one question, and you can and maybe this is what you already did. You just tell me. Okay. So, if you could, like, for instance, like say the entire audience here that was going to be listening to you on the podcast, on the Facebook Live, all that stuff, right? If they all wanted to be influencers and personal brands, right? They wanted to have a personal brand, right? You just said earlier that you could, if you take something that seems out of reach, far out of place and stuff, and you can condense it into actionable steps, 3 to 5 steps, say, what would you say is something that you would go back and redo, knowing what you know now, redo, so give us all a head start in life? You know what I mean?
I can tell you the exact formula of what I would tell you to do to build a
Go
personal
ahead.
brand. Now,
It's awesome.
this isn't what I'm about to tell you in this formula is not as simple as I would put it to an audience over time, right? Like I would break these each down to a 3 to 5 step process. Okay. But like this is like I'm going to give you how to do this much information. I'm telling you to teach your audience how to do this much information, right? Mm-hmm. But like here are the 5 steps to basically building a personal brand in theory. Number 1. Identify your brand story. Okay, like craft your message and make it really clear. What is your why? Lead off with your why. Okay, tell people that you need to explain to someone why you got to where you're at, even if you're just starting, even if you're brand new to it. You're saying, "I picked this because of X," right? Go that, and you need to create an environment around that. You need to identify keywords that are associated with your brand, key messages, phrases. When someone says your name, what do you want associated with it? When I say Grant Cardone, what's the first word or phrase that comes to mind?
For me? Sales.
Yes, for you. For Grant Cardone. Sales, exactly. Sales. Ty Lopez.
Social media.
Social media marketing, right. Russell Brunson.
Hook story offer.
Hook story offer. Yep. Click funnels and funnels. Usually the one. Okay. When someone says your name, what's the first thing that you want to associate with that? Me? Audience creation through social media, right? Like that's what I want to associate with me. So that's what I'm actually going out and doing, building a personal brand audience, right?
Yeah.
On social media. So you have to figure out what that word or phrase is. Identify and craft your message. If you don't have that, you can produce the best content in the world. It don't matter. No one's following you. Okay. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that you need to go out and start optimizing your profile and your content, like all of your online audience, and create content that teaches whatever it is that you do while telling your story. Let me repeat that. You're creating content that teaches what you do while telling your story. Okay. Now, I love the Instagram platform. I think it's amazing for personal branding. I think that a Facebook group is also phenomenal for personal branding, especially like if you want to sign high ticket clients, Facebook group is a gold mine. If you want to be known as a big, huge, massive influencer, Instagram is going to be a better long-term platform for you than Facebook group. Facebook groups are kind of constricting, but for more immediate results, immediate clients, Facebook groups crush, hands down. So got to have an Instagram account, got to have a Facebook group. If you can produce video content, obviously YouTube is a gold mine as well, but I don't do that yet, so I can't talk on it. But those are your platforms, okay? Optimize your Facebook profile, lead back to your Facebook group, create a community in your Facebook group, and build your personal brand like with your storyline and your content on your Instagram account.
We're focusing on those 2 platforms. Awesome. I am following, bro. I am following all that stuff. Go ahead.
It's great. It's awesome. Step number 3 is you need to do your customer research survey to figure out what it is that your clients want. Create, and by the way, if you guys want, I have a 2-page document. It's there's like 15 or 17 questions on it of these exact questions that you need to ask your audience in order to figure out what it is that they want to buy from you. If you guys want that, hashtag link me below. It's completely free. And hashtag link me. I'll send you a link when we're done. And basically, you sign up for the waitlist for my webinar when it opens up here in a couple weeks, and I give you that for free as soon as you sign up. So if you want that, it's like 15, 17 questions of what we're going to go over here.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Guys, do it. This is valuable. Yeah.
So you have to go through and you have to figure out what is it that your clients want, what are their struggles, what are their pain points, like what are their biggest fears, like figure out all those things. And that's what we ask in the survey, right? So you figure out those things and you go, okay, awesome. This is what I'm doing. Like, cool. And you create a low ticket product around that. $97. Perfect. You could do less than that. I wouldn't go much higher than that unless you have a really good audience, but $97. And that product needs to solve one problem. One. That is it. Their biggest problem. Don't try to solve 3 problems because then they'll get distracted. One problem, one quick win, one noticeable solution to whatever it is that their problem is. Okay?
Yep.
What will provide on value to them? Listen, now what have we done? We've identified our storyline. We've built out our platforms. We've done our customer research survey, and we've crafted a product and offered it to them. And we have a buyer now. Remember what I said earlier? A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. Okay? You may only have 10 people that buy that product. You might only make $1,000. Your audience is small. Great, cool. But now you have 10 qualified buyers. You can assume that at least 1 or 2 of them are going to be interested in your done-for-you services or coaching services. Get them on a call, send them an application to all of them. Say, hey guys, like, you can ask them again if you want to serve them again and be like, if I offered high-ticket coaching, what do you want? If I offered done-for-you service, what would you want? And go offer that, but just to have a waiting for them. So I did, and what I do consistently, we just did our social media secrets masterclass, right? We did 50 people on the live. We did 100 people on the replay. So it was a $97 launch. So we did $15,000 for that on the audience. We had 150 people buy in. Of those 150 people, we had 26 people apply for our high ticket coaching. It was a $4,500 offer. We had 26 people apply. We only took 7. We turned down 19 people. So I literally you do the math. I turned down what? 80 grand.
Yeah, why?
60
yeah, I'm just in my mind.
because I'm not focused on that. Like, I want to go through and I'm taking 5 to 7 at a time. That's my ideal sweet spot. I'm not at a point in my business yet when I can take that on. So it would be a disservice to everyone if I brought on all those people, right? Because I'm building out social info and I'm building out my webinar and all that. But mind you, we did a $42,000 launch in 9 days following that formula. Okay. Message, creating your audience on social media by providing lots of valuable content to them, right? You're teaching while sharing your story. Social, teaching while telling your story, getting them interested, surveying them. Step number 3. What the heck do you want to learn? What are your biggest struggles, roadblocks, and pain points? Comment hashtag link me if you want the survey. I'll send it over to you. And then number 4, craft that low ticket offer. Now that low ticket offer is there, they've said yes, you've provided them awesome amounts of value. Then say, here's the application if you want to work with me one-on-one. If you get someone to fill out an entire application and tell you all about themselves, like my close rate on that is like 80 to 90%. Like you get them on the phone, like they've already told you, yes, I'm interested. Yes, you don't get on the phone with someone unless they say they have the finances to do it, right? Yes. You get on the phone. Okay, here's what we offer. Okay, here's the PayPal link or the Stripe link or whatever it is. Pay, done, and onboard them. It's not that difficult. And the fastest way, and this is super cool, the fastest way to grow an audience on social media, guys, is to sell something, not pay traffic right at the beginning. Because what I said at the beginning, nobody takes your free content seriously, okay? Like, they love it, they consume it, they might share it out, but if all of a sudden you're getting customers to pay you money and then go out and share it, and people see results through your paid stuff, way credible, way credible, all right? Yeah. Because now you actually figured out how to get someone to buy from you. It's really not that hard. And so then you have this all going out there. You create this list of buyers over and over and over again. People start sharing this out. Someone sent me a message. Someone had pirated my course.
Oh, really?
They were like, aren't you ticked off about this? I'm like, if I'm big enough where someone's pirating my course, like, no, I'm not ticked off about it. I mean, we got it removed, obviously. We went after them. But I'm like, that's like a benchmark achievement for me. Like, heck yeah. Like, I'm big to be ripped. You know, that means you're putting up enough paid content out that people are buying it, that people actually want to start getting it for free.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. I sound like I hit my own benchmark when I got my first hater on my last webinar. Yeah. So it's like awesome, right? That's so funny. This is so awesome. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. That's so valuable. I want, and if we have time, I'm gonna ask like one more question after this, but I want to give you time. Talk a little bit about your Facebook group, what you stand for. What is this is the Big Dreamers. This is Big Dreamers Digital Marketing Secrets, right? And I honestly believe, like what you said, the reason why I wanted you to be the person to kick off this, like, Facebook Live and like, high level entrepreneurs that are coming on here is because what you said in that one post is that you said like you are a kid with a huge dream. You said it again at the very beginning. And I think that every single entrepreneur is a kid at heart that just never gave up on their dreams. So tell me.
I'll be a kid when I'm 80. Are you kidding me?
So tell me what your big dream is, and tell me what about the Facebook group and everything that you stand for.
For sure, man, for sure. So I want to start off with my why. That's what I believe in. My why is to inspire people to break free, to know truth, and to create their own reality so that they fall in love with life and make the world a better place. I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to, is making the world a better place. Can't make the world a better place if you hate your own life. And if you want to love your life, you got to break free. You got to know truth. You got to know truth, and you got to create your own reality out of it. So with Social Media for Entrepreneurs was my Facebook group. We got about 33,000, I think, there and growing now. That's what it's all based off of. Social media, we use social media to do that. I tell my story in there a lot, and I just go through and I just share my daily findings. I share my wins on social media. I have gone and like I said, I've over 5 million followers on Instagram, hundreds of thousands on Facebook. And I mean, I hardly monetize from my Facebook group ever. You know, it's a common thing for people to pitch all the time in their Facebook group. Like I hardly ever do. And when I do, it's like so over the top value that it's just like a no brainer. And so it's a very positive environment. And what I'm trying to do in there, man, is I have a this long-term vision. And like, I know where I'm at now, and then it's like blurry for a while. And then like, I know what I want to get to in the big time. But right now I know that like for me, I need to create an army. I need to create a group of people that follow me and fall in love with my messaging. And I know the only way that I can do that is if I make it worth it for them. And so like, I always tell people, like, I want to make sure that you're getting way more out of me than I'm getting out of you, right? Like I'm asking you for the most important thing in your whole life, which is your time and your attention, right? Like you have a lot of places to choose from that, where to put that. So if you're giving it to me, I want to make sure that's worth your while. And so for me, I'm doing social media. And so that's what I try to do. And so that's what the group is all about. Is we do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of interviews, live streams. We have some like exclusive partners and stuff to where like we'll bring in like Maxwell Finn and we'll give discounts on his stuff, or Cody Neer, like things like that, where like normally you'll pay, you know, something else, or you'll get, you know, free bonuses or a slight discount or something like that. Just trying to provide the most amount of value possible. And so that's what the goal of that is. And I try to get out and like I've done, you know, doing podcasts like this and live streams like this and interviews and speaking at different small events. Like right now, like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build this army. Like one of the people that I actually really resonate with, who's not in the entrepreneur space at all, but if you look at it, is Kevin Hart. All right. If you look at what Kevin Hart did, he went out there and he like, look at stand-up comedy. I mean, he was in bars and nightclubs for years and years, over and over and over again. Man. He didn't just go out and run ads to his name and blow it up. That's not why people love Kevin Hart. The reason people love Kevin Hart is because most people that know Kevin Hart or that are a true diehard fan have actually gone out to his show. And they either saw him when he was big or they saw him when he was really little in the bars, right? And he went around and did all the different things. And so for me, I got my core hub, which is my Facebook group. But I'm going to go into all these other Facebook groups. I don't care if there's 3 people watching or 5 people watching or 50 people watching or 500 people watching. Like I'm going out there and I'm giving my time away. I'm giving it away. I'm giving away value because I know that if I just keep doing that over and over and over and over again, that type of loyalty is one that a Facebook ad can't buy. You know what I mean? Where
it's so strong.
And so that's like what I try to teach in the group is like, I will give you strategy to grow. Like I know social media. There's no question about it. Like if you buy my products, it's impossible to fail. Like I don't structure a product where I don't know you can win. So as long as you follow it there. But at the same time, in order for me to show you that I know my stuff and for you to actually pull out your wallet, I get that. That's a scary investment. I want to actually go and provide enough value elsewhere to where you can see quick results and actually go out there and be like, wow, this guy actually does his stuff. He actually cares about my success. And so that's what the Facebook group is kind of all based around.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And guys, if you want to be in that, we are going to be dropping the link probably in the description of this video. So after we're all done. Okay. So to definitely join that group, I'm a part of it and it is tremendous. Actually, you distract me a lot, man, to be honest with you, because anytime anytime I see your content, man, I'm like just on it all the time because you're in front of the whiteboard and you're dropping so much value bombs, man. So I really do appreciate it. I know that your entire audience does as well. So real quick, before we leave you here, or before like you leave us, the hashtag or social info. Talk to us a little bit about that because I went through it. It's an amazing product. It's something that like blew my mind. To be honest with you, I bought it just because of how you guys marketed it, and it's just like, it's never going to be at this price again, all that stuff, whatever. I had $97 to spare, and I said, I will use it someday. You know what I mean? And I just bought it.
I think a lot of people did that for sure.
Exactly. And then when I went into it, blew my mind. I feel like if every single person that wants to be an influencer or a personal brand needs to have this product. So talk to us a little bit about it.
Yeah, for sure. So it's actually interesting. I always say do customer research and survey. This is a product or it's a software. The research came to us. Like literally people just like threw what they wanted at us. My business partner on it, Hayden, he came to me about a year ago now. And he's like, hey, Josh, I've been watching your Instagram stuff. I see that you do all this hashtag research. I see that you do I see that you do all this research, hashtag research. I see that you do all these these influencer research and downloading of content and everything on Instagram. And I know that you said over and over and over again that it takes 8 to 10 hours per account. I'm like, yeah, it sucks, dude. He's like, what if I told you I figured out a way that I can just code something that it does in like 5 minutes? And I'm like, okay, right? Like, I don't know, whatever. And then he showed me and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. And so like it was just total, like just coded ugly, super ugly when we first got started. But I started sharing it with a couple of my friends, and like I told them like to keep the wraps. It did not stand wraps. Like people started sharing it out and talking about it or whatever. And so we were just like, all right, well, we got this product. What do you guys want from it? And people just tell us. And so we didn't even have to run a survey. They just told us. So it was really easy for us. It was nice. Looking back, I wish we would have done a survey just to get it more solidified, but like we got it. And so basically, info right now it's for Instagram and YouTube. Our strong point is Instagram right now. And you eventually want to bring in Twitch and Facebook and things of that nature eventually. We offer a free version of it, which is very similar to Social Blade, where there is like statistics. You type in account name, you can see how many followers it's gaining or losing, the engagement rates, things like that. Pretty standard, same as Social Blade, nothing new or revolutionary there. But then on our paid version or our premium version, this is what revolutionizes everything. We have a hashtag research tool where you can literally type in up to 100 hashtags at a time, and it will literally give you instantaneous data on every single one of those hashtags within like 2 seconds, like that fast. And all the posts that are in the top 9 posts, how many likes, comments, the engagement rate on all of them. And then from there, we have a $500 training that's included in there for free in the monthly subscription. We sell that training for $500 elsewhere. And it's included for free on the monthly subscription there, where it literally shows you how to go through and use every single one of those hashtags to actually go and create the sets that are going to give you the most engagement based on your specific account. There's whole formulas in there. There's a 20 to 25 video series on how to grow Instagram accounts successfully. That's all included in there for free along with the premium version. And then the other tools that we have on there, not only the hashtag research, but we also coded an algorithm that actually searches related hashtags. So you type in, you're like, man, I don't know what my hashtags are. I need at least 100 of them. And I know it's hashtag entrepreneur, hashtag Gary, and hashtag hustle. Like those are the only 3 I know in my niche. It will actually bring up all the related hashtags that people are using when they use that one. It's like suggested hashtags based on data that other users are using and other people on Instagram are using, and it'll show you all that data and show you how to use it. And then we also have a media downloader tool where you can download any photo or video right to the Instagram platform, right to your phone or to your computer. We're coming with an Instagram scheduling software to where you can actually schedule a post. That's in the work. We have a bunch of really cool plans for that. And so it is like, if you are on Instagram, really social media in general, because it's going to be so much bigger and developed, but specifically Instagram right now, it is hands down the best marketing tool for getting data and analytics for Instagram specifically. And there's, like I said, there's whole training. So not only does each tool have a tutorial, then there's an overall like 20 video trainings on actually how to blow up and grow Instagram accounts, how I grew now over 5 million followers on Instagram using those strategies.
That's insane. That's insane. And I agree 1,000%. So if you guys want social info, if you guys want that, we'll drop the link as well. So just hashtag social info down below. But yeah,
it's socialinfo.co too. Yeah.
Socialinfo.co. Socialinfo.co.
Yeah, you can make that. I will drop the link to that. But yeah. So
yeah, that's incredible.
Josh, we have big news. I can't tell you what it is, but like in the next month, there's going to be a pretty cool announcement that we have coming out to where it not only does it further our reach into the Instagram space, but also takes a big bite into YouTube as well. And so there's some YouTube stuff that we've got going there. And just really big for the future of that. We've kind of been on the download right now. We hired a secondary coder. So now we have 2 coders working on it full time. And so we've just been really grinding out all of our bugs and issues like that. And just currently working on our current subscriber base. We have about 3,500 users right now. On the platform to it.
When did you launch?
3 months ago, maybe.
Okay, so, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. 3 months people can't grow a Facebook group. It's at 3,500.
Yeah, so it's been really, really fun.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So Josh, I just want to thank you again so much for your time, man. I do appreciate it. I still have about 3 pages worth of questions for you, brother. So we'll probably have to get you on here at another time again. But man, it's been incredible, man. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to share with the Big Dreamers community?
Yeah, man. One last quick thing for those of you guys that are still on here. I think this is so important. It's one of the things that I like to share when I'm wrapping up, especially interviews like this where there's no pitch, just value. I'm a marketer, and there's also a lot of other people out there that are marketers that share a lot of information. We make it seem really easy. And we don't even mean to make it seem easy some of the times. Like I'm sure that like I know someone commented, Josh, you made it seem easy. Like I'm not trying to sugarcoat the fact that this is like you're just gonna post a piece of content, it's gonna go viral. Like it's hard work, guys. Like you are not gonna see results first day. Like yeah, you might see a quick win. You know how easy it is for me to get you a quick win though? That's complete fluff and BS, right? Like so like you understand like when you're researching influencers to follow, when you're choosing who to follow, I only recommend following 2 to 3 people tops. Like the main people you follow, 2 to 3. My two to three main people are Dan Henry, Sam Owens, and Ty Lopez / Russell Brunson. Like depending upon that realm of things. But like I really only follow like Dan Henry and Sam Owens really really closely. With the occasional they're not touching something on that, because like I want to know what they're doing completely and entirely. Choose your influencers so carefully, guys. Like pick someone that's slightly above where you're at right now. Maybe that's me, maybe it's Franco, maybe just something along that. Pick someone that's like halfway to your goal, and then pick a big huge influencer and just follow that progression. And that's it. For me, it's like Dan Henry, Sam Owens, Russell Brunson / Ty Lopez, depending upon which one. Like there's the thing. And so when you just choose that out and only follow stuff, understand it's not gonna be easy. Like guys, like I tell you my story, but what I didn't have time to share with you was literally, I'm talking like 12, 13, 14-hour days along with the job, sometimes 18-hour days along with the job, right? Having no friends for like 7 or 8 months. Yeah, I had a major success in a short amount of time, right? A year, 2 years, 3-4 million followers on Instagram. However, I paid for that with 18-hour workdays. So like, just like, please stay consistent at it. It's not as difficult as you think it is in terms of concepts. The concepts for this are really stupid easy once you get the hold of it. Like once you understand it, it's like you just duplicate it over and over and over and over and over. Like it's not hard. But getting to that point where you're actually fully understanding that and the time that you have to put in to actually become an expert at this, that's difficult. And you got to be committed. I tell people, do what you love, because if you are not doing what you love, you will absolutely 100% positively get sick of doing it.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. That's very, very genuine and authentic, because it really is. I've known it for myself, right? And everybody's just trying to go Facebook Live one time, and every day for like 2 or 3 minutes. You know what I mean? They're having struggles with that. You know what I mean? So I understand and really 100% on that, guys. If you think that this was incredibly valuable and you want to see Josh Forti again here in the Big Dreamers group, hashtag encore down below to see if we can convince him and persuade him to come back at some point again to drop more value. But thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate it. You are a true big dreamer, man, and I look forward to your success, bro.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I appreciate you having me on. Guys, thanks so much for all your time. Social media for entrepreneurs. If you search the group on Facebook, you should be able to check that out. Social media for entrepreneurs, and we got a lot of cool stuff in there. And for everyone that commented, hashtag link me. I'll send over the link. You can join the waitlist for the webinar and also get the free questionnaire survey for your audience of questions to ask them.
Awesome. And socialinfo.co, guys. Every single one of you need that product. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Everybody's commenting encore, encore, encore. Right? We're having a bunch of them. Hopefully we'll see you again, brother. All
right, man. Take it easy, man.
God bless you, bro. I'll talk to you soon, man. See ya.
God bless.
Bye, guys. Hashtag dream big. If you love that, guys, we're going to have more of that coming soon. Next week, we're going to have James Smiley. James Smiley is I don't know how much money he's made, but he's a huge high-level entrepreneur, and he's going to drop so much value on us next week, something just like this. If you want to see James Smiley, we're going to create an event. We're going to have a new Facebook cover photo. If you guys loved Josh Forti stuff, make sure that you guys are staying tuned for that, because Josh Forti is actually speaking at a mastermind event that James Smiley is hosting, I think, this weekend. Okay, so love you guys. Keep it real, stay humble, and always dream big, guys. Peace.